A mushroom or toadstool is the fleshy, spore-bearing fruiting body of a fungus typically produced above ground, on soil, or on its food source. The standard for the name mushroom is a cultivated white button mushroom. Mushrooms are a rich, low-calorie source of fiber, protein, and antioxidants. They may also mitigate the risk of developing serious health conditions such as Alzheimer's, heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. They're also a great source of selenium. Mushrooms are popularly preferred by those who wish to eliminate meat in their diet without giving up its taste and mouthfeel. On today's episode of Urban Farming, we'll delve more in mushroom farming with Wangari, the farmer on fire, a youthful farmer from Kitengela.
Hello, my name is Wangari Kuria and welcome to my farm here in Kitengela. Hapa ndio tunafanya ukulima inaitwa urban farming. We farm in town areas, so it means we farm in small sections and we try to create awareness through our YouTube channel, Farmer on Fire, to help other people see the possibilities of farming in the urban areas. We have this challenge of not knowing whether our food has come from sewage or it has come from very far, so it's not fresh. But we can be able to get the power back and increase the food and reduce the food shortage. Right? Okay. We have this challenge of not knowing surely where our food is coming from in the urban areas. It could be coming from the sewage, or it could also be coming from very far, which means by the time it gets to the cities, it's not fresh. But we can take the power back and reduce the food shortage in our country by having each one of us having a kitchen garden. And that's what Farmer on Fire is about. It's empowering and spiking inspiration to everyone to try and provide food for themselves, however little. In that also, we help farmers to market their produce by offering them market linkages, trainings, and any support they need along their journey. So I started farming a while back. I'm from the village and I've used to growing warus, minjis, and carrots, and you can guess I am from Nyandarua. That's why I grew up watching my mother go to farm, but all the produce she was producing from the farm was for subsistence. So I never saw money change hands. And for me, I didn't see farming as a career. So eventually I came to Nairobi for my university, in University of Nairobi, to do my BA in Arts, Bachelor of Arts. And I followed the path that was laid. You know, there is that path of you go to school, go to campus, then you get a job, you know, you get married, you have kids. I followed that path. But apparently, God had a different path for me, because after working for about 7 years in a real estate company, the company did not go as well and we were retrenched. And in that, I found myself lost in my identity and in who I was. Luckily, I had invested in a small plot in the middle of nowhere. Those plots that you hear will end up in a bypass somewhere. And we realized that the overheads of living very close to CBD were too high. So we moved to Kitengela, where we established a home and we started farming around it to provide food for our kids. And so that's how Farm on Fire was born. And right now we have a demo farm where we allow other people who are inspired to farm to come and learn from our experiences practically as we do it. And we have also authored a book and we have a YouTube channel called Farmer on Fire. So basically we specialize in 3 things, which is rabbit farming, mushroom farming, and strawberry farming. But we are also involved in all other kinds of horticultural support in the farming industry. Yes.
Mushrooms is a high-value crop ideal for urban farmers, as just a small space is required to establish a mushroom farm.
Our farm is mushroom farming. I first knew about mushroom farming when there was a training in our church. I paid, attended, and came home and did my own mud house so that I can start the venture. It has been good because it considers that I don't have a lot of space, not compared to people in Muranga or Nyeri who have acres and acres of land. I am farming in a plot area and mushroom is ideal for me. Number 2, mushroom does not grow on soil. It's soilless agriculture. It's farming in the future, which means when we are hearing a lot of people complaining that it takes so much energy, so much water to feed a cow for it to give you beef as a source of protein. Mushroom can still give you so much protein, less cholesterol, yet it is using very little resources. So I believe that mushroom to be the future crop to look up to for protein source.
Growth medium is the most important factor because it supplies necessary nutrient for the growth of mushrooms, mycelium. Different media such as potato dextrose agar, yeast extract agar are mostly used for the growth of mycelium.
Another benefit of mushrooms is that they mostly rely on waste materials. Hardly will you go to a shop to buy new products or invest a lot of high capital to start it. It's something that can be started with whatever waste materials you have. You need a substrate, which is kind of the farm where they will grow, and that can be waste material from maize, from sugarcane, from wheat, and even from any other source like grass-like that is dry. So that is one other benefit, that it's not high capital venture that anyone can go into. Even for young people who are feeling they have not been able to find jobs and high unemployment rates are in Kenya, they can go into mushroom farming because they don't need to be told you need to get a tractor which will cost you this much, you need to get land. You can start mushroom farming, which means that you just have to look for local resources that are near you that can form the substrate of the mushroom.
Just to revise on the medium suggested to grow mushrooms, wheat straw is the stalk leftover after wheat grains are harvested. Traditionally, it has been treated as a waste. In some countries, farmers burn it, contributing to air pollution and creating a public health hazard. Wangari has found ways to reclaim this waste material as a substrate.
As we use wheat straw, we buy it from Narok and it's shipped here. We also use wheat straw because we can also feed it to our rabbits, as I will show you in the other segment. So you take the mushroom, the wheat straw, you cut it into small pieces, put it in the drums over there, and then you boil it. After you boil it to sanitize, it means you are killing competing bacteria and competing fungus. Remember, mushroom is a fungus, it's not a plant. It doesn't have the roots, you know, the crops, the leaves, the roots and the stems as a normal plant would have. So because of this, it usually has different characteristics different from a plant, but it has other competing fungus that can come. So you only want the seed that you've put in the substrate to be present, to be productive, and so you kill the others by boiling for 2 hours in very high heat. Once you have boiled it, then you put it in the bags and then you put it in an incubation house. As the word incubation suggests, is that you put it in somewhere where it's experiencing heat. When the seed starts colonizing now the wheat straw or the grass that you've put, it goes turning white, and eventually at the end, then you know that it is ready for fruiting. Upon this stage is when we transfer it into the fruiting house. A characteristics of fruiting house is that it has to have cooler temperature than the incubation house. That's why you find an incubation is either mud or stone walled, while an incubation house is metal. Yes, and then after you put them in the fruiting house, spray water for a week and you should start harvesting immediately. This whole process takes about 3 months. So you have about 4 weeks in the incubation house, and then the fruiting process takes 6 weeks to 8 weeks. So for about 3 months, you should be able to have a crop and your next crop coming up. So it's a 3-month cycle kind of crop. Yes.